it comes to my training, I want to do everything. I want to run, I want to deadlift heavy, I want to be able to muscle up, I want to be able to do more than muscle up and technical gymnastics. And maybe it's this yes man inside of me, this ego that's wanting to be a gym bro and be good at running and do all of those things. But whatever the motivation is, I've always had inside of my head, how do I best be the best at all these different things? Because sometimes this mindset works against me rather than for me. I'm constantly trying to, for example, I'm trying to get really good at heavy squatting, so I do a bunch of squatting, and then I'm also at the same time trying to get good at fast running and long distance running and gymnastics. And the reality is, if you're really trying to push all of those things to the highest level, you're just not going to be able to do all of them at the same time. Not to mention, you actually end up spinning your tires, things don't go as well as they could do, and it's a little bit of, makes your head spin a little bit trying to stay on top of all of it. I've managed to do okay in a few different races, from obstacle course racing to high rocks to running to CrossFit, but still there is just this thing in my head of just like, I need to go and be better at that and be competitive in this and do that. And like I said, maybe it's just some ego thing inside of me that I need to let go of, but I'm still in this pursuit of being good at lots of things at once. It's been 7 years, I think. It's been 7 years that I've had this multi-dimensional approach to fitness and training. And over the years, to be honest, there is no secret. From what I've seen and from looking at the best to do it, it's like any other successful training program. In terms of the training, it always comes back to this little thing called periodization. Periodization is the gradual introduction of specific stimulus to create a desired outcome. It's basically doing something to get you a result, but slowly increasing that thing over a certain period of time. Let's go to running. You want to be able to run a marathon. Best way is probably not to just run marathons every day or try to run marathons, because let's be honest, that's not going to happen. You're not going to run marathons every day. I wouldn't be able to do it anyway. You would instead go, okay, let's try to do 2Ks every second day for the week. See how we go there. Then maybe you run 3Ks on every second session that you do. So instead of running 8Ks a week, now you're going up to running 12Ks a week. Over a period of time, maybe 12 weeks, you build that up to a point where you're running 60, 70Ks in a week. And then it's pretty safe to conclude that your body is going to be better at running a marathon or have a better chance at running a marathon. This still applies to hybrid training. And in my head for so long, I didn't have that right. And I just thought you just do a bunch of, let's call them WODs, where you put everything together and you train hybrid and you do this and you do that. But reality is it's not the most effective way to get there. Instead, you pick the things you want to get good at and you focus on periodizing them separately, with an emphasis on the things that you really want to get good at. So let's say you're working on your running, you're working on your weightlifting, and you're working on your gymnastics. But at the moment, the weightlifting is really suffering. So you do a periodization block or a training block of 12 weeks focusing more on strength training than you are the running and gymnastics. Now, that's not to say you forget about those two things and you don't do them at all. We're just putting a little bit more emphasis on the strength training. So periodization helps you put a timeline on these things and therefore measure these things to see how they're getting better. Once I started getting this right, things started going a lot better. I was able to pick more specific events and then train more specifically for those events, and it became more enjoyable. It was like I had this time frame of a mountain to climb, rather than what in the past I was doing is just trying to be really good at everything with not really much of a specific goal. It's like, no, I'm gonna do a high rocks race in 8 weeks time and I'm gonna train just for that. You're still training a bunch of modalities of fitness in the meantime, but you're at least locked in on one thing that you can then test and then come back and retest again and see if you got better at that thing. So for me, periodization was the key if we're talking about training. There's also diet, there's also recovery, a bunch of other things. In terms of training, periodization was the be all end all for me. It made training so much more enjoyable, because then even after that event, I was able to chill for a bit rather than have this thing in my head of, no, I've got to get straight back to it because the weightlifting's suffering or the gym is suffering. It's like, no, continue to periodize like any athlete would, and then you can have a rest, you can have a deload, you can do that, you can chill, and then you can reset some more goals and go again. There's no secret recipe just to hybrid training that doesn't apply to other sports. It's like, no, just do what every other athlete is doing. Then it's a win-win, right? You get better results, mentally it's more fun, it's more enjoyable to get through. You've got a mountain to climb, and then when that's done, you can chill, you can rest, you can stop beating yourself up about not being the best hybrid athlete in the world and being able to tackle all these things at once. Because reality is, yeah, that's not a very sustainable way to approach it. Apologies in advance here, I've got to plug plug myself, IAK Training is this community of like-minded people trying to do a bunch of different things at once as best as they can. We've got hybrid athletes, we've got OCR athletes, we've got weightlifting athletes, we've got CrossFit athletes, we've got runners. The point is, we've got a bunch of different disciplines, but all with the same mindset towards just getting better at a bunch of different things and trying to experiment towards getting better at things to see how we can help each other do that better. If you want to come and join the community, you can do so for free via the link below, IAK Training. It's got all of these resources that you can access via your phone. Where's my phone? Via the app, we've got an update section just on things that are going on throughout the community, new videos that are popping up. Then we've got the resources section where we've got nutrition, we've got exercise demonstrations, we've got hybrid training templates, and we've got High Rocks program specific resources. It's a cool place to be if you're into this sort of training and you're really trying to get the most out of all the different things you're trying to stay on top of, because I know that it's super hard. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Hope that helps someone out there kind of take the edge off trying to chase so many different things at once. Peace, happy training, and see you in the next vlog. This is technically still a vlog, by the way. Let's go.